Hey everybody, welcome to Season 3 of Song Revolution. Get ready to ramp up your songwriting. Hey everybody, John here back for another installment of Song Revolution. Thanks so much for tuning in. You're the reason that we do this. If you've not taken the time to go back and check out the archives, there are so many episodes that I love. Bear Reinhardt with Need to Breathe was one of my favorites. Matt Maher, we talked about unity in the church. David Leonard, about his amazing career in music. So there's just so much back there, a lot of encouragement, a lot of teaching and inspiration. So go check out the archives whenever you have a chance. I am also really excited about our NCS 2025 Songwriting Challenge. The download is still available for you. Go to the show notes, check it out. And even though we're halfway through the year, go ahead and jump in. It's not too late to catch up and add skills and inspiration and information to your songwriting. Think of where you could be if you follow along. Well, I have a great guest on the show today. He grew up just outside of Nashville. He became a street performer. I'm going to ask him all about that before he wound up earning a golden ticket to American Idol and became the runner-up in season 14. He's performed with the Nashville Symphony. He's performed with Alan Stone. I love Alan Stone. He was nominated for a Teen Choice Award. He is the host of the Idol Breakdown on YouTube with 23 seasons. He is an amazing R&B and soul singer inspired by the likes of Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, Marvin Gaye, Al Green. I'm surprised I'm not on that list, but I'm very happy to welcome to the show today Clark Beckham. Hello, Clark.
Hey, thanks. That was a great bio.
Yeah.
You need to send me that.
Okay.
People ask for bios all the time, and I'm like, I've got something. That was pretty good. That was great.
You can have it. I'll text it over after this. Well, man, thanks so much for being here on the show, and it's just delightful to meet you, and we want to get into some of the background, your American Idol stuff and all that. But my first question for you today is, what does it feel like to be you today?
What does it feel like to be me today? It feels great. It feels great. I'm a big weather guy, and what I mean by that is like when it's good weather, I am in such good spirits. And I'm trying to work on that. This might sound really corny, but if we're going right in, but if every day is, if every day is the day that the Lord has made, and rejoice and be glad in it referring to the day that he made, that means there's something to be joyous about when it's raining or when it's cold or when the weather's horrible. So I'm working on that because I'm like, all right, there's beauty to be had here when it's, cloudy or dark or.
It's great, man.
And like I'm into like the Portland, Oregon type, like foggy kind of crisp Seattle, like that little rainy. I like that, like reading weather.
Really moody.
Yeah, but I'm trying to find it in everything, even like the 95-degree heat.
Wow. Yeah.
But today, I do not have to be creative to find joy, and it's just perfect.
It's nice.
So I'm doing great. Yeah.
Coming out of the cold and starting to get a little bit of spring here. That's so cool. I was at Integrity Music years ago and in my office, and I think I really suffered from that seasonal affectation thing, And my assistant walked in one day, looked at me, he said, "Chisum, get a sun lamp."
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm a little down today because of the weather.
Funny.
But man, you're just an amazing vocalist. One
thanks.
of the best. Obviously, just so incredible. And so take us back a little bit, season 14, American Idol. Who even won? You were runner-up, but who won?
My friend Nick Fradiani was the winner of my season, and then I was right behind him, second place.
What was that like? You're interfacing with these iconic, artists and people that are the judges, and what was that like? What was the best of it? What was the worst of it?
And I loved it. And, people want to ask, people ask often, what was it like? And I feel like people expect, and maybe it's the common narrative that former contestants give, us to say, it wasn't all that, or kind of dog it. I loved it. I loved every second of it. From when I auditioned in Nashville at the Music City Center, all the way to the finale. You know, when, as my old football coach would say, when I got first place loser, on the day before my birthday, May 14th. I know.
Oh, dang.
And then my birthday was actually when we had a 3 a.m. call time to start press, which was crazy.
That is crazy.
But anyway, I loved every second. There were things that happened that I could have had a sour attitude about, and I could tell you about it, and then you would kind of give me permission to have a sour attitude, and everybody would be like, oh, that. But you have to see things as they are. And the reality is, I was a street performer who couldn't even get into a bar, on a bar stage. And now I'm on national television, and they're giving me a shot. They're letting me sing and then telling me their critique. Before, all I wanted was someone to hear me sing before they said no, but they'd just say no before I could even do anything. And so to have American Idol, the legendary, one of the greatest television shows of all time, actually give me their ear, and then even better than that, say, yeah, let's go. Let's send you to Hollywood. Let's go to the next round. Then you get passed off to American voters. And for them to say, yeah, let's go. We want you. Let's go. Next round.
Cool, yeah.
It was incredible. It was a competition against yourself, which sounds also very corny, but it's the truth. You never feel like you're competing against the other contestants. So the friendship and relationship that you gain with these people who we're all just these talented misfits that are nobodies, and then we're being raised to national fame, international fame together, and all we have is each other. So that relational bond is so genuine and so tight, and it's not something that's put on for the camera. Some of my best friends of my life will always be Idol contestants that I had, and even if I haven't talked to them in years, if I saw them today, I would run through traffic to give them a hug. I mean,
That's awesome.
I'd be elated. So it was such an amazing experience.
Go back a little bit to what you just said. I thought that was so fascinating that you were really competing with yourself. Unpack that a little bit for us.
Yeah. So here's the challenge with good singers or with talented artists. You can coast, and if you're really good, you'll find success, general success. That's cool. But what would happen if you did everything within your power to realize and then reach your full potential, not your half, your absolute full potential? And how close to that can you get? Great book by John Wooden on success. He said, John Wooden, one of the greatest basketball coaches of all time, he said that success is not measured by data or like a win or loss column or anything like that. Success is measured in how close you can get to your absolute full potential. He said his most successful season, he won like 7 or 8 national championships. He said his most successful season he ever had as a coach, the team like didn't even make the tournament, much less win the national championship. And he's like, that was the team that got closest to their full potential. So when you're competing, when I say competing against yourself, are you gonna, no one else is gonna know what that full potential is as much as you do? And are you gonna coast by and then I heard someone say, excuses are just permission slips for mediocrity. Is that what you really want?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going for? You know, just so it's elimination of all the things, whether they're excuses or other obstacles, where you can actually strive for your best, even when if you didn't do that, everyone would still say you're great. Can you find that intrinsic motivation to reach that ultimate level? That is the game. That is the competition with yourself that we all face.
I love that. What was the most, other than maybe coming in runner-up, was there another moment that was really disappointing where you thought, I've let myself down? Or did you feel like you were constantly, growing and doing better as the show went on?
Yeah, the finale, like the announcement of Nick winning, was actually a really wild experience because two things happen at the same time. You're rejected, right? You'd lose.
By America.
That's right. And two, your best friend in the world just won American Idol. And it really does feel like, would you say you have a best friend, or can you think of who's give me a name? Like one of your best friends.
Oh my gosh.
One of.
That's
Let's not
so
say best.
hard. Oh gosh.
Or just say good friend.
That's a good friend.
First thing that comes to mind. Raymond.
Yeah.
Raymond won American Idol.
Yeah.
How would you react?
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt when Nick won.
Yeah.
At the same time, feeling like, hey, you lost. So that was a wild moment.
It's conflicted.
It's weird, man.
Yeah.
Because it was also like I trust God. I know that He didn't lead me here just to drop me. Everything is for a purpose. My steps are ordered. I believe that. And I knew that, but I still was hurting about it. You know what I mean?
So you grew up in the church, have a Bible background, and so you carried your faith into that arena. What was that like?
It was way more conducive than people make it sound like it should have been. Most people make American Idol and really any type of entertainment industry platform very antagonistic toward the gospel or toward Christianity. And it isn't. There are things that people that do not adhere to Christian values, they're going to adhere to other values, and those can conflict. But in general, when you shine a light in a dark room, it lights up. And what is the light that Christians have to offer? Bible says that what makes us different, how people will know we're Christians, is our love. And that love, that word agape, is godlike love. It's love that's described as caring more about the person than you care about yourself. That kind of love is by definition, supernatural love that is outside of nature, to care about someone else more than yourself. And when you offer that, people love it because people want that, right?
We're hungry. Yeah.
We're designed for it. We're designed for it. And some people don't ever get it, whether they're in the church or not. They don't receive that type of love. So when you walk in the room and you genuinely care for the other person, it's real obvious, and it doesn't have to be said. You don't have to give a cheesy smile and hand a Bible to a person, but you just really genuinely care about them more than yourself, and things go well for you. People want to hang out. They want to be around you because you're life-giving. So cool.
So since that time, you've been doing the Idol breakdown for 23 seasons. Did that start right after? Am I reading that wrong? Is that right?
No, it's 20. I label which season I'm on of Idol. So I've done 6 seasons.
Oh,
but it's the 23rd season of American Idol.
I got confused. I thought, dang, he's been doing this a long time.
No, that's just messaging.
Why do you do that? And what's the fun? I mean, I like it. I've watched it.
Oh, cool.
I don't watch the show that much anymore, but I like what you're doing as you critique and talk about each contestant. So was that just something you did to build your fan base, or to kind of, how's that?
My manager, Mike Kraske, thought of it, and he was like, hey, how about what if you did this? And I don't even remember the original goal, like the purpose. I don't remember because it was so long ago. But I started doing it, and I really fell in love with it. And I have a lot of thoughts, and I have a lot to say about music and the way singers sing.
You're great at it. It's amazing to watch.
Thanks.
To hear you talk about each contestant. So
yeah, and I'm also just a big fangirl of great singers. So I love just going crazy over really great performers. And
I love that.
the benefit is a couple different things. One benefit that I've found is I end up inevitably becoming friends with a handful of the contestants of the season, because all the contestants, often there is a large portion of contestants that watch my reviews, which is actually terrifying to me, because
a lot of responsibility.
Well, my main responsibility is to have an accurate critique, to review, and that doesn't mean say everyone's awesome all the time, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So when someone misses or they don't do well, or usually my biggest rants against a person are never when someone tries really hard and fails. It's attitude, like problems. Like if they're in Hollywood Week, which is when it's crazy, and I've been there and I get it, and someone is treating another contestant less than, or they're having a really serious attitude, I usually don't react as kindly as I should in front of the camera when I'm responding to people who do that, because I saw it on my season,
right?
And I see the people, but anyway, that part scares me. I've had some contestants reach out to me and say like, "Why do you even do this? Do you enjoy making people cry?" And it just that really breaks my heart.
Yeah,
I've had other people say like, "Hey, just so you know, one of the contestants is like crying every day, all day because they watched it," and that it shatters me.
Oh yeah.
But what I have to come to, and I say every season on the show, I'm going to say it in the next one. If you're a contestant, you're watching this, stop watching it. Don't. It's not worth it. If you want advice, if you want some feedback from me, DM me. Message me and I will give it to you much better than what you'd find in this video. But what I came to is they have to take responsibility for what they expose themselves to. They know what this is. They know what I do. I review and I give an honest opinion. And that's their responsibility of what they take in, just the same way as it's their responsibility to not look at comments, on random YouTube videos.
It's so hard,
like
though, when we're all affected by that, aren't we?
Yeah. And I watched, when I was on my season, there was a review series, and I watched every episode.
Wow.
And so I get it. It's hard not to watch, but still shouldn't.
Take us back. Take us back. I'm so intrigued by the street performer thing. Because when I walk by street performers, I think, oh, that's sad. Totally. I kind of feel sorry for them. And so what, you grew up in the church singing, and obviously you had already discovered your voice. Were you really trying to get into the bars by singing out front down on Broadway here? Or what was your motivation? And what was the best or worst thing that ever happened with all that?
Oh, gosh. Well, I wanted to start singing in venues. And I didn't know how. I didn't have a fan base that would buy tickets for a show. And so I live in Music City. Let's go down to all the places that have music playing, have house bands. So I reached out. First, I emailed about 47 different restaurants and bars and stuff. And I got 2 replies. One was, this email address does not work. And it's like, incorrect address.
Address not found.
Yeah, exactly. And then the second was just a no thanks. Like no punctuation, just no thanks. And so then I went physically, like just from bar to bar, like literally, and I had CDs in my hand and I was just passing CDs to everyone. I was like, hey, I'd love to sing. I'll sing for free. Like I'll just have a tip jar in front, which is pretty much how it goes anyway in Nashville. And I was like, I'll sing anywhere. And I'll sing for free. So I just started passing out CDs and offering myself. And I'd come back around and, some people would be like, yeah, I got your CD. And we started playing it, over the speakers. Like, wow. And they're like, yeah, we didn't really like it. I was like, okay, I guess I'll go to the next place. So there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
And then I went to B.B. King's Blues Club, which is the place that played the music that I loved the most in Nashville. And I was like, hey, do you guys have singers? And they kind of just looked at me weird. And granted, when I was 18 and I was doing this, I looked like I was 13 years old when I was 18. I just looked like not the kind of guy that would be singing on B.B. King's stage. And no one would give me a shot. And that was the thing. No one would even listen to me. And I'd even say, like, I'll sing for you right now, like over this counter. I'll just let me sing. And nobody would even hear me before saying no. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just open my guitar case in front of their restaurant, and maybe they'll hear me then. And I had this dumb, romantic, kind of arrogant idea that I would start singing and then a crowd would form. And that did not happen. It does not happen when you're a street performer. It happens once every 30, 40 times. There will be a group of people and one person will stop, and then there might be other people but it does not happen. It doesn't matter how good you are or what you're doing. So I started playing there to try to get them to hear me. And that didn't work. And then the foot traffic wasn't great on 2nd Avenue. So I got to like a prime spot. And I just started singing Let's Get It On and When a Man Loves a Woman and just like very loud, soulful songs. I just started singing at the top of my lungs, the loudest part of the song that was like a 15-second loop. And I just sing that. When a man loves a woman, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da. I just sing it again. I just do that for 4 hours. And, it was tough. And I actually got a lot of insecure habits from that, feeling like I had to do runs or people were going to literally physically walk away when they were listening to me. It was tough. It made me strong in a lot of different ways, but I also had some bad habits that I had to break after that.
That's just amazing. I can't imagine standing on the corner and singing. I would be pretty insecure about the whole thing myself. But
it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Wow.
But I'm happy I did it.
And then wound up on American Idol. So, wow, what a story. We're going to take a quick break, Clark, and then come back. And I want to get into what you see in your future and kind of unpack a little bit of some upcoming projects and just what you see God doing in your life now.
Lovely.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Here's a quick word about joining NCS Community. What would it feel like to have 52 weeks of access to the right people in Nashville? People who've been making music for decades. People who can answer every question that you have about what pro-level music making is all about. Well, you can get that and more by joining NCS Community. Our community is a group of worldwide dedicated Christian songwriters who want what you want, to glorify God with your gifts and to get your music out there. I hope that you'll consider joining NCS Community today. Hey guys, we're back. I hope that you will seriously consider joining me in NCS Community. There's nothing like it on the planet. Every week you get to meet with Nashville music publishers. We have critique opportunities often through each month. We're talking meeting every week. For your membership, you get a whole year of meeting with people who want to help you fulfill your passionate calling to write, to sing, to get your songs out there for Jesus. So check it out, and I hope to see you in community soon. If you were here for the first half, I'm sitting here with an amazing R&B soul singer, the runner-up of season 14 of American Idol, Clark Beckham. We've been talking about his time singing on the streets of Nashville and a little bit about the behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on at American Idol. But Clark, man, this has been rich so far. It's just great to hear your heart a little bit, to hear the story. I have a couple of questions before we get into some of the future projects and what you see coming up for yourself. Okay, here's the first question. What does your T-shirt, Jesus Loves the Flat Five, mean? There's a story behind it, and I'll make it quick. But I was in a singing ensemble, and we were singing. It's like 6 of us singing at a time, and we were singing this one little tag repeated of this song. And there's this harmony that I wanted to sing, and it was super dissonant, and it was quite the rub, and it was the flat 5 of the chord or the sharp 4
depending on how nerdy you are. And I really wanted to sing it. So I asked the director, I was like, hey, can I sing this? And showed him, and he's like, whoa. He's like, that is so dissonant. I was like, but it's amazing, right? Like, it's so cool. And no one else could hear it because it was really a weird note. But he was like, all right, fine. If you're up there and you're singing and that comes, like, yeah, go for it. You can sing it. So we're at a service and we're singing that song, but we have like alternates where we can save our voice, so we don't stay up there the whole time. So I was up there, and then I went to sit down, and the other tenor came up to sing in my spot, and then they did that song, and I was like, no, I wanted to do that part, man. I wanted to do that. So we were going through the song, and I heard it. I heard that flat 5, and I remember lighting up and be like, oh, someone heard it, and someone's doing it. Like someone. Like my idea that everyone made fun of, and it was like, that's too weird. Someone actually digs it, and they hear it, and they're doing it, on stage in the mic. It's awesome. Afterwards, I went to everyone. I was like, who did it? Who was singing that flat 5? Who did it? And everyone said, I heard it too. I thought it was you. And then looked around, and then you weren't there. And I was like, I wasn't singing it. Even in the audience, I wasn't singing it. In the congregation, I wasn't singing it. And they're like, we all looked around. It was probably Janie. It was probably, and then I went to her, and I was like, did you? She's like, no, I heard it.
I love it.
But nobody was singing it. Nobody was singing it. And everyone said, I couldn't sing that if I wanted to. And I decided to believe that God himself, or an angel that he sent, or Jesus, or the Holy Spirit, or whoever, decided to let me know, hey, I like that stuff too. And insert that note there.
That's
to
a
complete
great
that
story.
because he thought it needed it too.
Yeah.
So it's this reminder that God loves dissonance, and he loves complexity. And sometimes I think we can get mixed up with the genre that is worship music and the practice that is worship through music. And they do not have to, you can worship outside of the genre of worship, because the genre of worship is based off of a very specific, vital goal for the church, which is to give us a melodic and theological framework in the content musically and lyrically of the song to align our hearts with a right posture with God and good theology, and saying, God, you are greater. That is what worship is, and that is the goal of CCM, the goal of congregational worship music. But God is the author of the flat 5 too. Like, he's the author of things that would not be good in that scenario of congregational worship. I'm even working on a project right now that is confusing to me in the way that I am taking these congregational songs that every church in America has sung 500 times. Great are you, Lord, goodness of God, graves into gardens. I'm taking these songs and I'm worshiping to them in my one-on-one time with God. And because I'm not leading a congregation, I'm playing the chords that speak to me and speak to him too. I'm singing runs and things that I love and that he is of and loves too. And I'm taking these songs and I'm making this like, unintentionally, just like flowing with God, these like jazz, soul fusion worship songs.
I've heard them. You let me hear them.
Yeah, I sent you some.
I love them.
Thank you.
They're fantastic.
And so Jesus Loves a Flat 5 could even be the album title. Who knows? But that's the idea, that he loves a complexity. He loves art. He loves art.
Do you think people would get mad at me if I called this episode of the podcast Clark Beckham, Jesus is a music theory nerd? Do you think
he's the ultimate theory nerd?
You think I'd get some flack for that?
He's the ultimate theory nerd. He's the sickest bass player ever.
Yeah, of course.
He has the deepest pocket of any drummer ever. Like, there's no way he can't.
I hear he makes great wine too. I don't know. That's biblical.
Just biblical. Hard to argue against.
That's an amazing story. I'm glad I decided to ask that. I just saw that on your website.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I know what a flat 5 is, but why is that important?
Right.
I love that story, man. So nobody ever found out. I mean, it was nobody.
The Lord.
It was the Lord.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No one. Yeah. It's a mystery to those who lack faith, and I do not lack faith.
There you go. I love that. And you do a lot of covers.
Mm-hmm.
You've got some great covers out there, and I like what you were just saying a moment ago about the very specific worship songs that I would say would be implicit or explicitly Christian or worship, but then other songs you do Billie Eilish, 50/50, probably a lot of others I didn't quite get to, but those are not necessarily Christian songs, but do you feel that you're worshiping by using this vocal gift and musical gift that God's put in your life?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's kind of where how I see it is art in general. The goal of art at its ultimate level is to connect emotionally to the song, and then consequently you as a listener connecting emotionally to what I'm singing. So when I sing songs, like I've written a lot of songs that wouldn't be that would not appear on K-Love, right? That wouldn't be in the worship genre. But I'm writing songs about the world that God created and the experiences in it that I'm observing through redeemed eyes. So I am not writing, and I will not sing, even if it's a cover, anything that is promoting the wrong thing, that is promoting sin, that is promoting a destructive lifestyle, which is sin. Ever. We'll never do that, because there's just nothing worth potentially leading anyone down a path, making sin or destruction sound cool at all to anyone, period. But I believe that God is the author of art, that he's an incredibly creative God through melody and harmony and rhythm and even poetry, in other words, lyrics and songs. And when we do that well, and we connect to real things, real emotions that we go through, I do think he's in that just as much as there's a great Olympic runner that said, God made me fast, and when I run, I feel his pleasure. Mm-hmm. God made me like really nerdy, weird chords and harmonies that some people really love, some people don't. But when I play those really wild chords, when I take these beautiful songs by Adele or Bruno Mars or Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles, and I express my emotion through them, I have to believe God is the author of that expression. That's not, because if it's not, then whose is it? If God isn't the author of this magical experience that we have all felt when we hear a song that is hitting us just right, if he's not the author of that, who is?
Beautifully said. And
Thanks.
When I hear you sing, it is the Eric Little experience, the runner who said, I feel God's pleasure. And I hear God's pleasure when you sing. And it's you're kind of a freak of nature, bro. It's like it's like the rest of us are like, dang, I don't think I'm ever going to sing again.
No.
I'm just kidding. So what's the future for you? I know that educating folks, that this educational thing is really important for you. Why is that, and what can you share about what's coming up in your life and around that?
Yeah, with education, I have a degree in history. I went to Lee University, which is known for their music. Whether it's in or out of their music department, everyone is just an incredible musician and singer at Lee. It's just how it works. We've had a ton of success in reality singing competition shows from Lee.
Yeah.
I was proud to represent Lee and Jordan Smith,
yeah,
on The Voice and many more.
Yeah.
But when I was there at Lee, man, I totally just lost what we were talking about. What was the question?
Education coming up.
Education.
Yeah. You're cool.
When I was in college, and to this day, when I see a lot of people have a goal to get better at music, in my opinion, many of the avenues that people will take to get better are not good for what they want. For example, I want to learn how to play piano. I'm going to go take piano lessons. You're probably going to learn classical theory. You're probably going to learn how to play classical music. Now, some of the greatest piano players I've ever heard will swear by, you have to start with classical. You learn everything. If you learn classical, you can do everything. That's great. I tried it, was miserable, and I hated it, and I never want to touch piano again. So for some people, reading music and doing it the classical way does not help, and it is not the path to playing for them. Wasn't for me. And there are also a lot of things with music that people don't know because they're afraid to admit that they don't know. And so we all just say these terms that no one knows what they mean, but we just kind of laugh and hope that no one checks us on it.
What's an example? Do you know?
9. Wow, that 9 chord.
What is a 9?
It's like, I can't tell you how many times someone has played a different chord, just a chord with a bunch of notes, and say, it's crazy. It's like that 9. It's like a 9. That 9's crazy. And I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about. And it's fine that you don't know what you're talking about. Just instead of trying to pretend that you know what you're talking about, just ask what it is. Whoa, that's crazy. What is that? It's an 11. What's an 11? Oh, it's this. What's that? Like, just be open to ask. Because the best players that I know, the smartest musicians that I know, all of them are curious and are totally secure in their ignorance. They are totally fine with going, what is that? I have no idea what that is. You have to tell me like I'm 5. And the people that don't get any better are so afraid because theory seems very mystical to a lot of people, where there's just like, whoa, too much. So my passion with education, I've got music theory courses that I sell online, are like, okay, how do we make this real simple? No judgment, no shame, so that you know exactly what a major 13 is, or a dominant 9 flat 5, whatever. You know what it is, and so that you don't have to be that person that just laughs and hopes that no one checks you when you say 9 or dominant. Like, you know what I mean? So it's something that everybody wants to know, but everyone's too afraid to like take the steps to really learn it. So I've made online courses that make it very, very simple and show everything that I've learned in my 10, 15 years of playing that I've picked up from these great players in a way that's really simple and kind of demystifies the whole world of music theory.
That's so cool. I love that. And we'll put links to your courses and your website and contact information in our show notes. We don't teach that. That's not our gig here at NCS. We teach songwriting and we have artist development programs, but our thing is really more, my thing has really been more about great songwriting, which the theory can play into it, but it's not the main thing. We don't teach guitar, piano, voice here. We're not, we don't teach music per se. So I love what you're doing. I think that's really fantastic. And I have a lot of theory in my background, but please don't test me. It'd be really nice if I don't embarrass myself.
That's funny.
Clark, just the last question today. What would you say to an aspiring young artist who maybe feels confident in their voice, maybe they don't, but they feel a passionate calling to communicate? What would you say to encourage them?
I would say that the answer is not fancy, and a lot of times in the culture that we're in the information age and the age of podcasts and YouTube videos and reels and shorts and TikToks, we're constantly looking for this magical little, oh, that's it. We're always looking for shortcuts. I heard somebody say, the hard way is the easy way. There are no shortcuts, or everyone would do it. So, I mean, there are obvious shortcuts like AirDrop. that's a shortcut. Great. Everyone does it. It's no longer a shortcut because everybody does it. But this like new path where you can just cut out all the work it takes to be successful or to be good, be talented, it doesn't exist, doesn't work. So I would say 2 things. 1, work really hard at getting as good as you possibly can at the craft, at what you're doing, whether that's songwriting, singing, playing, or all 3. And then give your permission to not like it. There is this romantic myth that we're going to be obsessed with music and what we do, and we're going to love every day, and we're just going to be living the dream. And I remember thinking there was something wrong with me because I did not feel that way. I love music as much as I know, as much as anybody loves music. But there were many times, and are many times, where I do not want to touch the piano. I don't want to sing. I don't want to think of an arrangement, a rearrangement of a song to cover. I don't want to go to the songwriting session. I'm hoping they cancel. There are times like that happens, and I thought something was wrong with me. Like maybe I'm actually not meant for this industry. Maybe I'm not meant to be. That is a lie. It doesn't work like that. You have to have, there's this great book called Grit, where she explains that you don't follow your passion per se. You work really hard to get good at something. And when you get good at that thing, you become passionate about it. So take that approach to music, really go for it, and allow yourself to not enjoy it all the time.
Beautiful. That was great. I feel that.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. I felt some of those same things, and that gives me a little bit of explanation for maybe my own grind, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and it's okay to not want to do music. Someone was like, so-and-so, they're just not obsessed enough. I'm like, well, count me in, bro. I'm not obsessed enough either. I'm not obsessed. Like sometimes I'm obsessed with something in these micro moments of flow state, but there's so many times I don't want to do what needs to be done. And you just
dude, that's me in
to do
spreadsheets. It's like, oof. Oh my God.
But you get it done.
You got to do it. Well, Clark, this has been rich. I hope you'll come back on the show and share some more of your heart and life and wisdom. I know our audience will really resonate with you and your story.
Would love that.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys. Clark Beckham, awesome guest, awesome talent, crazy, amazing singer. I hate his guts. No, I didn't. I didn't say that out loud, did I? Crazy, great singer, just a great heart. And so go check out all of the links in the show notes for Clark's work, his courses on theory. If you think that'll help you, I bet it will be amazing, and we'll try to get him back on the show soon. Check out the NCS 2025 Songwriting Challenge. Download the guide, jump in. Be sure to join us for our first Monday of every month, free songwriter training. Follow the podcast, jump into the articles. Everything over on NashvilleChristianSongwriters.com is there for you. We love you. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us on today's show. If you got some value, please help us share the love. Leave a like and a share and a good review. Be sure to check out everything that we have to offer you at NashvilleChristianSongwriters.com. We'll see you next time.